Hi, Internet! For motorcycle newbies who get nervous about being on the highway, in this video, I share tips on how to handle situations that occur frequently on the highway. Stay tuned! Hi, I'm Lisa. I typically get on the highway for only a little bit to get to the backcountry road where I want to go. But recently, I've had to be on the highway for an extended period of time to get somewhere. And I noticed that now that I've been a Ryker rider for about a year, there's some tips that I wish I had known earlier in my riding time on the highway that would have made the road a little bit smoother. So I want to share that with you today. The first thing is, early on when I was very anxious on the highway, I tended to stay in the rightmost lane because that's the slow lane, right? So I don't feel the pressure, I don't feel as much pressure to go very fast. But now I'm realizing that outermost lane is not the best place to be. I really want to be out of the merging lane, or the lane where there's a lot of other traffic coming onto the highway, or the lane that others will want to cut into when they're realizing that they're about to miss their exit. Now that I'm a little bit more familiar, I actually try to not be in the outermost lane where there's a lot of merging going on. Because merging is one of those times when us motorcycles are at a disadvantage, right? Because we're not as visible to other drivers as four-wheeled vehicles, and it's very easy for them to not see us. So I always want to be where I'm visible to other drivers and be in situations where others are not likely to merge into my right-of-way. The second thing is, bumps that feel like nothing in the car can be very jarring on a Ryker. In my city, the junction between bridges and asphalt can feel like it's going to throw me off the Ryker if I'm going fast. So how I deal with this is I am constantly looking for those junctions on the road, like these horizontal lines. As I go over them, I loosen my grip for just a split second. Simultaneously, I lift my buns off the seat just slightly, not so much that others can notice, but I press down on my feet and lift my buns up slightly so that shock wave from the bump does not go straight up my spine. That helps a lot. Of course, that means that your peg position has to be such that you can press down on your feet while you lift your buns up slightly. That means your knees need to be at approximately 90 degrees or close to it. So that really helps a lot to remove the shock wave from bumps on the road so that you do not feel it from your tailbones and up your spine. Those shock waves are just not good for folks with back problems. The third thing is ruts in the road. Now these are just annoyances for four-wheel vehicles, but I find them to be an issue on a Ryker. When the front heel enters a rut, the wheel will get pulled to one side, and that feedback from that wheel gets magnified in the handlebars and feels really squirrely on the handlebars. There's a tendency to correct that squirreliness by grasping really hard and controlling your handlebars, but that just ends up swaying. That's when your front wheel gets in a rut. If it's your rear wheel that gets in the rut, well then that rough vibration goes up the spine and it's a rough ride. So I try to line my knee up to the rut so that no wheel is in the rut. But as you can see, when you're going through construction zones, that rut line changes and it's not always possible. So what I have learned actually works better is to lighten up your grip. Do not fight the squirreliness. I focus on a strong left arm. Left arm strong, not grip, because I want to keep my grip light and not in a death grip. By focusing on a strong left arm to control my steering, that allows me to keep my right wrist relaxed so that I do not inadvertently press on the throttle, which those of you who have been following me know that was a problem for me early on. If I had to be on such surfaces all the time, I think that's when I would really consider making some upgrades, like adding steering stabilizer or upgrading the end link and sway bar to see if that helps. Riding on the motorcycle, I feel very connected to the road because my eyes and attention is constantly on the road. I'm looking for ruts, I'm looking for lines or bumps, and I'm also looking out for other vehicles. Like, are there trucks or are there big 18-wheelers that might kick up debris from the road? And if they're around, I've got to keep my distance from them so that any debris that kicks up or anything that falls out of the truck do not hit me. There's another motorcyclist doing the same thing, speeding up so that he is not behind a 18-wheeler to be a target for its kick-ups or to be in its blind spot. With so many things to look out for, it's good when I can find a good lead car to follow behind. I look for another vehicle that's traveling at the speed that I'm traveling in. I keep enough distance to make sure that they can see me and I'm not in its blind spot. Having a lead vehicle like that is nice in the sense that if there's any unevenness in the road, I can see the car ahead bumping, so that gives me warning that a bump is coming up. Or if there's debris in the road and I can see it swerving and I can follow in its path. I am very happy to report that being on the busy highway did not freak me out like it would have 1 year ago. As I reflect on what's the difference between now and then, I want to share these observations with you. I look for a lead vehicle to follow to warn me about what's ahead and avoid merging traffic, to be on the lookout for debris. If there is debris or rut or something that's going to make the ride rough, try to line it up with my knee so that no wheel goes over it. If it cannot be avoided, then make split-second adjustments as necessary, which may include lightening the grip or focus on the strong left arm and lift up your buns a little. Thank you for coming along on my video ride today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give me a big thumbs up, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and ride safe.